Please open your books on page 955. Today we're going to be talking about volume. And volume is the amount of space inside a three-dimensional figure. Okay, we can use either of these two formulas. One would be using volume equals length, width, and height. So basically you just multiply length times width times height. Or you could do basically you find the base, which would be the area, times the height, which is the base, so the area of the base, and then you multiply it times the height. Really, it doesn't matter because we know that in multiplication the commutative property applies, so you can just multiply any of these in whatever order you choose, whatever makes it easier for you. I find it easier to first do two, find the base and then multiply times the height, but you can choose whatever you want. So for example number one, one thing that's super important is your answer must always include cubic units. So whatever unit you're using, you have to label it as cubic units because you are really considering three different measurements: length, width, height. So there's three of them, and it goes. That's how you. In area, we were doing two, and that's why it was squared. For volume, you are doing three measurements, so it's going to be a cubic unit. One, you can abbreviate it by doing, let's say, cubic centimeters would be like this. Cubic yards would be like this, and you just write a cube. Remember when we talked about this? So, on the first example, Armando wanted to fill his cooler with water and snacks, and we need to find the volume of this cooler. The unit that they're giving us, we know it's inches because there's 20 inches for the height, 15 inches for the width, and 30 inches for the length. So I already know that my answer is going to be in cubic inches. So that I don't forget, I go ahead and write it right now. I'm going to do basically 15 times 30 times 20. And again, the commutative property, I'm going to do actually these two first. So 30 times 20, I know that 3 times 2 is 6. And then I have two zeros. And this times 15. Well, I'm actually also going to be using the commutative property, and I'm going to do 15 times 6, and then add my two zeros from over here. So 6 times 5 is 30, and I have 3. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 is 9. So the capacity or the volume of this cooler is 9,000, oops, that's supposed to be a 9, cubic inches. This was 30 times 15 times 20. And again, another way would be to do what I did first. So 600 right here times 15, or any other way that you want to multiply first two numbers, and then, but your answer is still going to be 9,000 cubic inches. On example number 2, remember there's also the associative property of multiplication that tells you that the way in which the factors are grouped does not change the product. That's if you want to group them, first multiply 2 and then multiply the third one. So here we have this box that measures 9 centimeters times 17 centimeters times 7 centimeters. So we could do it just multiplying them all, or we can group them however we want using the associative property. I'm going to do 17 times 7 times 9, and using the associative property, I know that 7 times 9 is 63, and here I have 17, so I need to multiply 63 times 17, and I'm going to go ahead and do it. You guys do it in your books. And I know 7 times 3 is 21, and we have 2. 7 times 6 is 42, and 2 is 44. I jump to the tens. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times, and I've already done that, 1 times 6 is 6. I add these up, that's 1, 4, that's 7. 6 times 4 plus 4 is 10. So 1,071. So my answer right here is 1,071 cubic centimeters. So the prism is 1,071 cubic centimeters. Now I want you guys to do the gather practice. And again, here we're going to be multiplying this box. So we're going to have 11 millimeters times 7 millimeters times 9 millimeters. Oops. And you can choose to do associative property however you want. You could do these two, or you could do, these two times 11. It doesn't matter. It's however you want. And just make sure that your answer is in cubic millimeters, and then also do the next one. Like for example, I have this box right here. I just measured it with my ruler, and it measures 10 inches long, 7 inches wide, and 2 inches high. So if I want to know the volume of it, and I would need to multiply 7 times 10 times 2. I know that 7 times 10 is 70, times 2, it's 140 cubic inches. So go ahead and complete pages 957 and 958 in your books, and then make sure that you upload a picture of these two pages to Seesaw, to the right assignment. And please take one picture for each page and make sure that your pictures are clear. I don't want to see you, I want to see your answers. So please, if you're not using a mobile device, just get your book really close to the camera and take that picture, please. One page at a time. And the second page, if it becomes really small, drag the corners, make it big before you click submit.